Well, I've got some bad news. John, I shouldn't be laughing about this, but John Demere's neighborhood got wiped out when an automobile this morning took out the entire Spectrum box or boxes on the corner and took everybody's Spectrum services down. And they are halfway up, but not enough for John to get any meaningful bandwidth out of his house, out onto the internet. I've tried several times. So John is not going to be with us tonight. You're going to put up with me for another wonderful evening with EntreDot Live. And we're going to have his program next Monday at 7 p.m., assuming Spectrum gets their wiring fixed up after this accident. So sorry for that. Nothing I could do about it. Of course, we couldn't bring John over to my house because that's kind of against the rules these days. So here we are. You're gonna see me. So what I thought I'd do instead is spend these 15 or so minutes and talk about the subject I brought up this morning, which was Zooming is here to stay. That was the title of a short video I did this morning. I thought I'd simply expand upon it, on what I mean, because what's going on with this phenomenon, if you will, with the exploitation of existing video technology and video distribution technology and video preparation technology is exciting as all get out. And it has come to light in really, really significant ways in the last 2 to 3 months alone, when COVID-19 arrived, precipitating a lot of events. Let me remind you, with the virus and the actions state and federal governments are taking throughout the world, human interaction directly, like shaking hands and being closer than 6 feet to each other, is verboten. We keep social distancing. I think that's what we're calling this. That'll be a new phenomenon in the 2020s when the history books are written, when social distancing was invented. Plus all of the other related processes and procedures you go through, and you go to the grocery store, and certain businesses can be open and some can't. Some businesses, you gate the people in, you keep 6 feet away as you enter the store, and 6 feet away as you check out your groceries or your retail products from any department store you're going to, like Target, for example. So social distancing and all of what goes with it have created terrible impacts to certain businesses. I'm not arguing that this all shouldn't have been done, but businesses that do rely on human interaction, touching, for example, and close proximity, are terribly impacted. In fact, in some cases, destroyed. So unless you're an essential business, you can go through the stories and how that was cooked up, but like storefront retail, food and beverage, there's bars and restaurants, hospitals. Believe it or not, community hospitals are in trouble because they're only half full. Hospitals are hotels that provide medical services. If half the beds are empty, they go broke eventually. So the hospital part of the medical industry is greatly impacted. Personal services, barbers, hair stylists, estheticians like my daughter, business stops as they know it. So out of this morass of businesses that just are not able to operate, while others could operate but can't do things face to face, can't. Any company in the services industries, like consultants, financial services, some personal services, professional services, all could be done online. So what emerges here is more and more businesses are simply going online, like we're doing right now. I am live with a bunch of people. We'll produce a video that goes out to others as well tomorrow. But these online services have just come to fruition in as little as 2 to 3 months since the COVID-19 disaster started. So it's very rapidly a rapid awakening of the power of online communications. It's really coming out of a necessity because we can't go to places to meet with them. Our offices are closed. The restaurants we used to hang out in are closed. So some businesses that are able to provide their services online have really pivoted towards this. I've talked over the last few weeks about the therapy businesses that I've become familiar with and am helping to a certain extent, where it's physical therapy, motion therapy, balance therapy, occupational therapy. All of the practices of those therapies, a great majority of them can be done online. The one business I'm thinking of that's furthest ahead in this, from my vantage point anyway, is occupational therapy for kids. And it's being done as we speak. They pivoted to this within 2 to 3 weeks. Trained 20 some odd occupational therapists to provide therapy online. Boom, they're still moving. They're in business and improving. They'll be profitable again within a few weeks. Professional services like consulting, mentoring, financial services, insurance businesses, all could be done online and meeting with customers. Tutoring, educational programs, training, all are easily done online. Businesses that have a retail component, the retail component could be done online as well. You put up a retail outlet on your website and sell what you used to sell out of your store online. Churches are even online. There's some sad stories about churches about being hacked that I read about this morning, but church services are being done online because we can't be in that building elbow to elbow. So the restaurants, on the other hand, that are, you can't go in them, are serving out the back door or the front door, and you drive your car up after ordering by phone what you want them to prepare for you, and they still can do a little bit of business. So you probably can come up with 20 more examples of businesses that that have made the pivot to do business a very different way and do it now. And many of these can be done online as well. So what we're seeing is the emergence of rapid and effective use of video technology, streaming video online, live, like we're doing right here now. So the economics of this start to dawn on these people as well. The positive economics of this. Wait a minute, I'm meeting online, meeting goes pretty well. I didn't have to travel there and take an hour out of my day, half hour there and half hour back to my office. I can now do 2, 3, maybe 4, depends on how long your meetings are, business meetings per day. Or I can use that hour or 2 that I traveled on something else. I can use my time more effectively. This could be a 15, 20% improvement in your usage of time if more and more of your business can be done online. So your use of time can change dramatically. And quite frankly, as I talk to more and more people about it, we always talked about this as, well, this is a possibility. It's less travel. Now that you're living it, you say, well, wait a minute. That wasn't baloney. That's real. And that's real time I'm saving. So more work can be done by using the time you save. Another really important, equally important factor is The geographic reach you now have, being online, is orders of magnitude greater than your storefront or your clientele that you had in 20, 25, 30 miles a radius around where your office is. Now, for example, this occupational therapy company I mentioned earlier, they're licensed occupational therapists in North Carolina, but pretty much serve the general Raleigh area. Now, all of North Carolina could be available to them, assuming they put the right marketing programs in place, which they are doing. So the occupational therapists can work on children in Charlotte from here in Raleigh, or Wilmington, or Asheville, or Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and the list goes on. The geographic reach for your market, the kind of people that you sell your products and services to, can grow tremendously. Again, you have to have the right marketing programs to reach them. That all could be done, though. It's done every day by lots of businesses through online digital advertising. So the economics, because we're forced into this, well, I can't sit across the table from these people. I have to talk to them online. Now, you could have talked to them by phone. That would have been kind of boring, not very inspiring, let's say, because you miss a lot of the conversation if you don't see the person and see their expression and see the tonality of what they're saying. You see their body language. So there's all sorts of aspects of communications you don't get by just having a telephone call. New issues, though, are also arising. I mentioned churches before. The report I read this morning and an article I just breezed by was just church service with done online. That was hacked into by a group of people who wanted to be disruptive, and they made a lot of noise and said a lot of bad things, totally disrupted the church service. It's a shame, but that's a matter of security. I would expect that simple handling of proper authentication and passwords to be in these kinds of sessions for a church would probably get by that. But it's a learning experience for the group of people that experience that. So there are tools that are available already to protect security and protect you from unwanted guests, let's say. In the medical field, if you're going to do services online, for example, another example is that in the medical industry, you have all of these codes that represent the kinds of services that a physician or therapist, in this case, can perform. And the insurance companies recognize these codes and what they mean, and how the service was done is defined as a service that this code means. And the practitioner gets paid by the insurance company for the service. Same for Medicaid. Medicaid pays for these services that are performed as well for Medicaid patients. Well, if you're going to have these medical services done online, you gotta change the regulations so that online services are recognized and paid for by insurance companies. Well, our friend in North Carolina, Blue Cross Blue Shield, seems to be doing this. Now, will it stick or not? That's another question. So there's got to be some work done to acknowledge that there are viable ways for performing these very same services under these codes and should be reimbursable. That's an argument ahead of us, though. So these new issues arise because we're doing business a different way. And there are many others. We're going to run out of time here. So some of the best practices, though, for delivering this is since you personally are going to be in front of a lot of people online, and a lot of your marketing is going to drive people to want to know who the heck you are before they take you on and buy your services, that your online profiles, wherever they are, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, your website, all are up to snuff, current, dynamic, compelling, informative, exciting. In other words, after reading your profile on Facebook, I'm excited about contacting you to find out how you can help me. So work on that, really. It's the first impression that people are going to have of you. And if the impression isn't good, they're going to move on to somebody else who does impress them. You can start by reorganizing your calendars to be able to schedule more services during the course of a day. Change your whole scheme of how you allocate your time, knowing that you're not going to have to travel. All that time you've reserved for travel time, allocate it to additional services you might perform for additional patients or different additional customers or clients. This gives you more time to plan your business expansion. Maybe you put that in your to-do list, something you've wanted to do in offering new services that you just haven't got time to do. Now you may have time. Because you're online, the protocols of behavior and how conversations take place is significantly different. You got to listen more. Listen really well. In the course of doing that, be yourself. Be Bill Warner. Be Jim Roberts. Be others that we know. Don't be something else. Don't be an actor. In other words, you're not acting. You're being you. Pay attention to them as you listen. You're listening for meaning. Dress reasonably. Now, from the waist up, I'm dressed pretty nice. If you were in my office here, you'd say from the waist down, I look like I'm ready to go over to Joyner Park for a run. So, all in all, add on to your current mode of operation. Utilizing the time that you're safe. There's other best practices. Many are emerging as we learn more and more how to do this in a real way. So what has been kind of an idea that we could decide not to take seriously, that is, do online work with people, is now the only way that we can do work with people. And we're suddenly discovering, hey, it's working pretty well. So the next steps for you could possibly be, seriously consider this if you haven't already. Learn the tools of the trade. If you're an Apple wacko, it's iMovie. If you're Windows, it's Filmora for creating videos. Social Pilot you could use to schedule your online posts and things like that. Schedule your videos, in other words, for delivery to wherever you're delivering them to. I use Social Pilot, but there are other scheduling tools. That's just one. Be really current on Facebook and Instagram, those channels of delivery of digital communications that are the ones that your customers really pay attention to and want to hear from you on. But this is all about video. You're probably tired of hearing everybody say, video is the name of the game. If you're not on video, you're toast. I just saw a little while ago from this lady who I think is from Ireland or Scotland. I'm not sure which yet from her accent. Scotland, I think. If you're not on video, go home. You're not with it. Whatever she said. But they got a point. This is a technology, a series of technology. Now lots and lots of tools are available to take what maybe would take a professional a few hours to do, a videographer kind of professional, that you can do it. I can do it, for God's sake. I'm an old man. If I can figure this out by watching a few videos on the YouTube, which is literally what I did, to learn how to do the rudimentary process and technology for creating videos and editing them. It's not hard stuff, really. And these tools make it a whole lot easier and less scary. Get into it. Learn Zoom. That's the other tool. I use every day. I probably have 5, 6 Zoom meetings a day. That's about the only way I meet people, especially today since I can't get out of the house. So rethink your business. It's part of your next step. To whatever extent you need to rethink it, to establish new processes for delivering your services, or delivering your therapy methodologies, whatever it is you're delivering, to be conducted in a very different manner online, and then deliver a few of them. Learn from how it goes. Learn from the customers that you've tried it on. Modify your services as you learn, and do it again until you got a groove swing on a lot of services you could perform online. Build a business around the idea that I want to expand my market into new geographical areas, a broader reach than I'm in today, and I'm going to do that over video and have the marketing programs to pull it off. So unfortunately, some businesses may not survive. I hate to say this. I hate to see any business, but the ones that are not going to work over video or any form of online service, if this goes on too long, they'll run out of money. Even PPP money will be used up. And if we don't come back online by fall, a lot of businesses are going to have closed doors. I hope that doesn't happen to any one of you. So with that, I'm going to call it an evening. And next week, we'll have John Namiris here, assuming Spectrum cooperates, and we'll have the program we intended to put on tonight. But I hope this was helpful. I'm going to post this again tomorrow for those people who missed it, but I hope you found this useful and maybe a little bit thoughtful for you to change your habits and start falling in love with videos, your own. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. I'm Bill Warner with EntreDot.